aside from that, you save so that you can thrive eventually. You save so that you don't become a revolving door for your money. Yeah. So that you're not earning 10K.
A revolving door for your money.
You're not earning 10K today and spending 10K, and then when you start earning 500K, you're also spending 500K, and you don't have assets to show for all your hard work, as in over like a 5 to 10 year period.
Obviously, she's millennial. She understands their language. You are the organized, banking, doing all of that. What do you think are the major mistakes that we make when we're talking about relationship with money?
We've said it all. We spend first. Most of us spend first. And peer pressure, you can't remove that too. My friend lives in Lekki Phase 1. I need to move to Lekki Phase 1. My friend's children attend this school, my children. My friend drives a Range Rover. I must drive a Range Rover. These are the mistakes we make on various strata of the society. And then the word discipline comes in. If we can discipline ourselves with respect to money, because like we said earlier, you worked hard for this money. So let the money equally work for you. And that's the only way you can build wealth in the long run.
Okay, I mean, I like that. Money can only work for you if it is there, and when it works for you, it can carry you to wealth. How does that happen?
By building assets, by consistently building assets that can provide you with an income in the future. So you make money today, you know that a proportion of it is going towards buying land or towards buying property. It won't happen in one day because that stuff is expensive, but consistently setting that money aside to build those things so that one day you're a landlord and you're getting rental income from a few, properties, or you're getting dividends from a stock portfolio that continues to increase in value.
So what are the best areas to invest in right now as an asset manager? Asset managers, what do? They collect people's assets and manage it?
Yes.
You don't necessarily,
We do advise too. In fact, the biggest part of the work is to advise, because we meet a lot of people who already have those assets. What they need is advice on how to structure it properly to give them optimal income or returns, as it were. At this point in time, interestingly, because of the rate structure in the Nigerian economy, short-term money market instruments appear to be the most appealing.
What do you mean by short-term?
Treasury bills.
Treasury bills, commercial paper, like I mentioned earlier. And if you are good enough and you have good enough advisors, there are some stock ideas in the market that would give you some very healthy returns in the short term.
So short term, you're talking about the tenure or?
Yes, short term meaning under 1 year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
People are thinking about interest rates. I want you to put my money and get 10%. What's the maximum you can get on your money today?
About 17.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
On treasury bills?
Treasury bills, yeah.
Because obviously our government is broke and they're borrowing money from the people. So the premiums are high.
17%. So if I put 20,000 naira now, but they won't take my 20,000.
It's 17% per annum, Sha.
They will.
But that is still something.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Your 20,000 can work for you. And how?
Yes.
There's an instrument, a product called a commercial investment scheme or a mutual fund, where you can put that 20,000 naira. Peradventure, you do not want to buy equities because they're higher risk. So there's...
Or you want to be a passive investor.
Exactly. There are pockets of money market funds that you can invest your 20,000 naira in. And depending on the frequency of dividend payment, either quarterly or semi-annually or annually.
Are those things safe? Those mutual funds, are they safe? How safe are they is what I should be asking.
Now, that's
They're relative.
why, going back to what I said earlier, that's where you, as the owner of the money that worked for that money, that's where you need to ask questions of your advisor and your money manager. So, for example, you say, what are the asset classes you are investing in? I want to see the structure. So, for example, to give you comfort, you may want to see a structure where 80% of those funds are invested in federal government securities and maybe 20%.
Like these bills.
Exactly. So at least until Nigeria goes bust, which is not going to happen.
Forbid.
Right? So it means you are surely going to get your returns on that investment.
So, but do you find that people are investing and not asking questions about their investments?
Oh, definitely. And I think especially women, like we don't want, it sounds too complicated. Please let somebody else deal with it.
Yes.
But I'm always saying to people, the same way when you go on Instagram and research that new shoe or that new bag, research the stocks that they're investing in for you. It doesn't have to be like a complicated thing. You just have to, pick out maybe certain stocks that they're talking about, your investment advisor is talking about, and learn about what's going on with those companies every month or every quarter. It doesn't really take a lot, but we just don't like to involve ourselves in that thing. But I think that it's also important for people to understand that not everyone can be an active investor. Some people can decide, you know what, I want a professional fund manager to just manage, you know, through a mutual fund, and that way you don't have to worry too much.
So
about,
advice,
you know,
very quickly, on how to pick the right manager.
Returns.
Huh?
Experience.
If you look at several publications today and several websites, for example, NSC, there's a Fund Managers Association of Nigeria also. They have a website where you can see the average returns on each fund manager's mutual fund. Then you pick.
What did you think?
You know, I think definitely that's a good way to do your research. See who's been in the market for the longest. See who's
you talked about the experience too.
Yeah. See who's been in the market for the longest. See who's actually making money, you know, for their clients, and get referrals as well.
So before I wind up, I want to know what's the most important thing that people must remember if they watch this show. I want to know that even if I'm earning 20,000 naira, I can say, I heard that, but help me make it practical.
Discipline. And then cutting your
expenses.
There's this cliche, cutting your coat according to your cloth.
This doesn't make sense, though, because things are hard. You have to eat, you have to pay bills, you have to...
I think one thing I would definitely say to people is you can only make money or save and invest in two ways. Either you earn more or you spend less. So find a way to minimize your expenses and find other ways to increase your income. You can't just say, oh, I'm a low-income earner, I don't earn enough. You need to start thinking about what's my skill set? How can I apply that skill set to add value and make money?
So money can work for you if you respect it and you spend it wisely enough to put something aside and invest it through a good avenue.
Yes.
Research. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much
sweetheart. All the best, the millennial. And we've covered the millennials plus, you know, the experts have spoken. Go out there, make some money and spend less. If nothing else, take that away. We'll see you again. I kind of like that, you know, spend less, make more, spend less. Sorry, you. It looks like this one is directly at you. So we're going to take pictures, give them their phone.